The 1997 BMW M3 E36 holds a revered place in automotive history as one of the most celebrated models in the BMW M3 lineup. Introduced as the second generation of the M3 series, the E36 seamlessly combined performance, style, and everyday usability, creating a car that was both a driver's delight and a practical daily driver. The E36 M3 marked a departure from the boxy design of its predecessor, the E30. With its sleek aerodynamic lines, the E36 was a much more modern take of the 3 Series, which represented the 90s very well. The coupe body style, with its aggressive stance, flared wheel arches, and iconic kidney bean grills, gave it a distinctive and sporty look that was both elegant and aggressive. And the subtle M badges and unique alloy wheels added to its visual appeal, making it instantly recognizable on the road. Under the hood in the North American market, the 97 M3 featured the S52 engine, which was a 3.2-liter inline-6 that produced 240 horsepower and 236 foot-pounds of torque. This engine, although less powerful than its European counterpart, the S50 B32, which delivered 321 horsepower, was lauded for its smooth power delivery and robust performance. Coupled with a 5-speed manual transmission, the M3 could accelerate from 0 to 60 in approximately 5.5 seconds, a remarkable feat for its time, especially from a luxury coupe. The E36 M3 was also praised for its handling. The finely tuned suspension and near-perfect weight distribution and precise steering made it a joy to drive on twisty roads and racetracks alike. The car's agility and responsiveness were benchmarks in its class, earning it accolades from the automotive enthusiasts and journalists. Inside the M3 was a blend of luxury and sportiness. The cabin featured high-quality materials with supportive and comfortable sports seats that were perfect for spirited driving. The ergonomic layout of the controls and the driver-centric dashboard design enhanced the car's performance pedigree. Standard features included air conditioning, premium sound systems, and power windows, making it a well-rounded package for both driving enthusiasts and everyday users. The E36 M3 is often credited with solidifying the M3's reputation as a top-tier performance vehicle. It struck a balance between daily drivability and track-ready performance, a formula that continues to define the M3 series. The E36's success paved the way for future M3 models, influencing their design and engineering philosophy. Even today, the E36 M3 is highly regarded in the enthusiast community. Its timeless design, excellent driving dynamics, and relative affordability make it a popular choice for collectors and driving purists. Well-maintained examples are sought after, and the aftermarket support for performance upgrades and restoration is robust. The E36 M3 remains a milestone in automotive history, embodying the essence of what makes the M3 lineage so special. It helped bridge the gap between homologation obligations and customer-focused performance models. Its combination of performance, style, and everyday usability set new standards in the automotive world. As a symbol of BMW's commitment to driving pleasure, the E36 M3 continues to be celebrated as a true classic. If you've made it this far, please be sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any future content. But let's go ahead and bring this thing over to the Tokyo Expressway and see how it handles our lap. The M3 was released today with the 1.49 update, and that is also coming along with a physics update to the physics model of the cars in the game. So I saw a 3-second increase in my lap time so far, and that's something just to keep in mind when you're watching the review and seeing where it sits against the leaderboard. There's also a Austin Powers moment I had at the end of the race, so stick around to see that. but the car came with an engine swap option. We'll first check the factory BMW motor, and fully built, the car ends up with 477 horsepower and 297 foot-pounds of torque. The weight of the vehicle came in at 2,509 pounds, so it makes for a pretty nimble car. There is an error right now, at least I believe there's an error in the game. I could not get this car to handle at all with the wide body kit. I actually own 4 of these cars right now, 2 with engine swaps, 2 with the factory motors, and as soon as you put the wide body kit on, it ends up jerking the wheel 180 degrees when you're braking, and that, to me, it's a glitch. I don't think there's any binding in the suspension. I actually raised one of the cars, so don't put that wide body kit on right now. We ended up getting 6 laps with the factory motor and saw an even displacement of wear on the tires, with both fronts and rears receiving about 20% of wear. So it's something that's probably going to be limited by tires in this scenario, but of course you can put on a harder compound to get a little bit more duration to try to match that fuel economy, which is pretty good on this. It also stays naturally aspirated all through its modifications, so it can qualify for some races that the other cars don't, and this is using the European motor, so it's got a little more power to begin with. We ended up crossing the line at 2 minutes 5 seconds, .191, which put it right behind the Civic SIR with the engine swap and just in front of the Model 3. But again, you can probably see about a 3-second variance just because of the physics change in the game. But let's go ahead and swap the motor to the LS7 and see how the car handles that. The E36 M3 allows you to swap in the LS7 out of the Subaru BRZ drift car, and that's worth keeping in mind because this is definitely something you would only want to set up as like a more fun drift setup. It is way overpowered for this vehicle as it sits. The horsepower ends up at 1,195 horsepower and 1,007 foot-pounds of torque, while only increasing the weight of the vehicle 121 pounds, bringing the total to 2,630 pounds. But where this ends up making the car suffer is you almost can't use the full throttle. I don't have enough grip even with the racing soft tires to fully hit the gas pedal without breaking the rear end loose. And with that, even while being conservative on the tires and keeping them in mind for my lap, I ended up burning through 100% of the rear tires before the end of the race. There is more potential for more speed in this car. I just wasn't brave enough and skilled enough to power through. So that is something to keep in mind as well. The car is also pretty aggressive with fuel usage at this point, where it's running through the entire tank in our scenario after 3 laps. But if you get 2 laps out of your tires and 3 laps out of your fuel, you're not going to be worrying too much about your gas mileage anyway. If I'm honest, I also somewhat prefer the sound of the factory engine over this one. There's a lot of V8s in the game, so when you get a nice sounding inline 6, especially with individual throttle bodies, it creates a really nice sound, and it's just a nice change of pace, and the naturally aspirated version gives you plenty of power. We ended up crossing the line at 1 minute 57 seconds, .232, which put it right behind the Impreza WRX STI and just in front of the Fairlady Z from 2008. Now again, this is something that's going to be chewing up tires and chewing up fuel, so I still prefer the factory motor over this swap. But thank you for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.